Hey everybody, it's me, your friend, Colors Duel. I'm just setting up the stream. But let's have a little chat about what today's stream is about. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit. So today I wanted to do a art piece themed around the concept of dismantling ableism. Ableism is, I would define in my own words, the idea that, and the false idea that everyone is capable as everyone else. Neurodivergent people, people living with disabilities, need the same amount of resources and help as everyone else. I am currently seeking to update my diagnosis with my mental health practitioners. I'm going to psychiatry and therapy right now. And this really spoke to me because I feel I've been targeted with some ableism recently. Not that I can't do things, and people with disabilities can accomplish their dreams and their goals, and I will never stop trying to do that either. Just having some coffee. I'm going to just read a little bit about one of the organizations I linked in the chat. It's called the Arc of King County. They have a 4-star rating on Charity Navigator, and that's the highest rating you can get for transparency and fiscal responsibility and such. I'm going to take a look at what resources they can provide to people. They look to make a more inclusive space in King County for people living with disabilities. The Arc of King County Supported Living Program provides residential support and advocacy for program participants who live throughout King County. The objective of this program is to provide the individuals that we are in contact and work with the opportunity to live an inclusive, self-directed life and to maintain status and independence in the community of their choosing. This program is funded by the state of Washington and available to those who qualify or contract privately. Program highlights. So these are the services that I was talking about that the Arc of King County provides. They are linked in chat if you want to check them out. They're a great organization. I just vetted them today, and I wanted to support this organization. They also have a YouTube page. They support individuals to live self-directed lives, as stated above, through a model that is individualized. See, we're meeting people where their needs are instead of saying everyone has the same amount of need. A model that is individualized in meeting the specific needs of the paid participant, assist in finding safe, affordable housing, ensuring that program participants live in the least restrictive setting possible, support in accessing and understanding medical services, offer training and life skill building to promote independence both in the home as well as in the community, encourage individuals to participate in activities which are meaningful and align with their interests. Remember, encourage, not enforce. They don't need enforcement, they need encouragement. Provide opportunities for community integration and community inclusion, and access to staff 24 hours a day in case of emergency. We're just going to read a little bit about them as an organization. And I usually, when I do these awareness raising streams, I just read about the organizations that I'm promoting. And I'll ask you maybe to, if you have the ability to donate to these people. Never forced, always welcome. The Arc of King County promotes and protects the rights of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities so they can live, learn, work, and play in the community, improving the quality of life for us all. Our vision: a world where children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities thrive as equal, valued, and active members of the community. Through our values of choice, opportunity, partnership, self determination, inclusion, diversity, equality, sustainability, and independence. And they were, if you're wondering when they were formed, it says here in their history section, they were formed in 1936 as the Children's Benevolent League. There's another organization linked in the chat. This organization is called the National Alliance on Mental Illness. As a peer counselor, I've worked closely with this organization in the past, and they've given lots of wonderful talks at conventions for mental health peer counselors. I'm just going to read off the who we are. NAMI is a NAMI is a National Alliance on Mental Illness. The National Alliance on Mental Illness is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated to building better lives for the millions of Americans affected by mental illness. And what started as this is their history. What started as a small group of families gathered around a kitchen table in 1979 has blossomed into the nation's leading voice on mental health. They're wonderful people, and they are also rated 4 stars on Charity Finder. If you have any ability to give to either of these organizations, anything is welcome. Today we are going to do an art piece I was thinking about. I'm going to, as always, not as always, but when I do these sort of mixed media ones, I start with a blind contour drawing of a face, usually. And then I will gradually expand into stuff like markers. We got stamps, we've got gouaches. Gouache paints are really fun. Thank you so much to everyone who is here, who is watching the VOD. I hope this inspires you to reach out to one of these organizations or reach out to a person living with mental health issues and disabilities in your community. It can really help them feel seen and included, which I think we all want to feel those things. I'm going to adjust the camera just a little bit. There we go. Boop. Just adjust. Just getting started. All right, I'm going to start with line contour drawing with this pen. Just setting up the mirror really quick. Everyone deserves opportunities, the chance to meaningfully connect with your community, and a chance to heal and grow. I just want to say that. It's just something that's on my heart right now. Okay, I'm going to start at the skull. I'm not looking at the paper. I'm just kind of looking at myself in the mirror. I looked at the paper just a little bit there. Now I want this art piece, to say to the world, we can do the impossible. We can find our own way of doing things even. And we don't have to be limited by mental illness or by perceptions that are false in society of people with challenges. Okay, I'm just going to look at the paper, then look back. All right. Now I'll draw in like hair and stuff. I usually draw like a little disembodied ear. And let's see. Kind of wanted to draw some like mouths, like splurting words at me. I have a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow today. Okay. I'm just going to copy my own mouth. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a blind contour drawing. I'm just making different poses with my mouth, like maybe I'll do like one more mouth too. I'm going to change music. I like the song, but I feel like I should take it out of this cafe mix I made. Made like a bunch of YouTube music mixes. Okay, so that is our under drawing. I've got tubes of gouache right here. I've been using like primaries plus brown and black. And then I'll just like mix up a bunch of color using those little colors. I'll probably need to break out the heat gun again. The usual, the huge. Just a reminder, please, if you have any ability to support either of the organizations linked into the chat, thank you so much for being here anyways, if you can. And if you have the time, just to click on one of those links and just read a little bit about them and tell your friends if you feel so inclined. If you're watching the VOD of this, hello. My name is Colors Doodle. I'm a Washington State artist and author. I worked a lot today on updating my game design document for another project I have going on. I'm designing a cozy-ish Earthbound-like RPG that doesn't have a title yet. I'm mixing some colors right now. Oops. That's a cool little spill. And the theme of this art piece today is dismantling ableism. I don't feel people should be limited or secluded. We should try to include people and make a more tolerant society every day. I'm gonna put some of this brown on my palette. In transparency, I mentioned it previously, but I'm in the process of updating a diagnosis. I'm working with a new therapist and a psychiatrist, in addition to medication management. I took my anti-anxiety a while ago, and it just wore me out, and I had to go take another nap. So it's like nap number 2 today I took. I'm using a water brush right now. You might not have seen one of these before. They're pretty cool. Just adjusting my lighting. Been getting a little bit more sun lately. So I got some more pink in my skin tone. I guess I can turn the music back up a little bit. Let me know if it's too loud. You might have seen our other piece we just did where we were talking about dismantling homophobia. And we did awareness campaigns during Pride. My brush is leaking. Mix up a little bit of purple. And a little bit more red than my purple. I like that. All right. I'm going to take out my brushes, probably my favorite Hake brush. Take a look in the mirror and see what my hair is doing today. It's kind of spiky today, so And then I'm going to switch over. My brush. Have some like brownish streaks in my hair. Well, not streaks, but just like put little hair details in there. Little patterns. Swish, 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 swish. My hair's very spiky today. I can probably go a little bit darker. All right. Going to switch over to the round brush. A little bit of blue, a little bit of black. A little bit of red. To get that eyeball color we're looking for. Just gonna let the gouache do what it wants. And I'm gonna let that halfway dry. And they're very blue eyes, so. But they're kind of like a misty gray blue. Boop, boop. I just want to say again, please support either of the organizations that are linked in chat. I'm going to go find the link for the YouTube page for ARC. Again, the ARC supports people with disabilities. And this is their YouTube channel. If you'd rather just support them in a free way, that's totally cool. This is a awareness raising stream. Maybe I can make it just a little bit closer. All right. I have a lot of 5 o'clock shadow today. Try to make these like different size dots. I just noticed a little rosy color on my nose and face. We could also bring those out with markers later. Okay. Now we're going to do a little bit of wash on this side of the page. Kind of like that sort of wash effect that I had on this one. It's kind of like bars or like a barcode. Hey, thank you for like. Make sure to check out the organization. It's also linked. We're supporting today 2 different organizations. We're supporting a local one, and we are supporting the National Alliance on Mental Health Illness. Sorry about that. Cool. We have all their information linked in chat. Doesn't cost a thing to just read up about these organizations that are doing such good work. Oh yeah, I gotta add my little beauty mark on my nose. Boop. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to hit it with the dryer. It's still wet. Hold this down. So cool watching it just like dry up. This heat gun I'm using can like melt metal, so I gotta be careful with it, especially on paper. Just go. All right. I kind of had a general idea for this piece, but I also kind of just am winging it and following kind of like my own little formula for how I do these mixed media pieces. Just washing my brushes, and I'm going to mix up light skin tone. Adding a little bit of the burnt sienna, which is the brown I'm using. That's too dark. I usually do, I know I say this every time I do one of these, but I like to describe the process. I usually do like a recumbent figure, which is like a figure that's lying down. I need a tiny little brush. I really shouldn't touch the paper while it's this wet. Little belly button. I read today, just like some stats. I read today that people with disabilities are overrepresented in like the prison population, even though they make up 27%, I believe, is what I read, as opposed to making up, I think, 12 or 13% actually of the general population outside of prisons, which is sad. And they're also more likely to face solitary confinement based on their challenges, which is sad and similar to other demographics in America in the prison system. All right, I'm going to mix up some orange. I'm going to have my head kind of like resting on a pill bottle, I think. So I'm going to do a little underdrawing. This paper's getting really warm. I recently, not recently, I'm about 33 days into my medication journey. I'm going to put support on that bottle. Supports. I have a wonderful therapist I've been working with, and I'm learning so many new skills and new things about myself that I'm not ashamed to share for once in my life, which feels good, which feels really good and empowering. My therapist tries to empower me, and I do. It's great because I feel like someone outside of my immediate family is invested in my growth as a person, and that feels really cool to me, and I like that feeling. I can't do anything like drinking on my medication, so I have also been celebrating and just talking about my sobriety. Because as long as I've been doing medications, I have medication management, I should say, I've been able to be sober, and I've done a lot of kind of self-seeking. Heart process. Okay, I'm just going to update the description of the video with some of our links. So today we're supporting a local and a national organization. Is the music too loud? Alright, updated the description. This will go up as a VOD, so I hope someone will watch. I shouldn't be like that. I know people like my art. People like me for who I am and what I make, which is art that makes other people happy. Now I usually draw like, oh yeah, I'm going to draw the feet. Kind of just draw them on top of each other. And then I'm going to draw some socks on my feet. And then we'll paint them. Oh no. We're starting to get a cool layering effect though. I'm going to read a little bit more while I just wait for things to kind of dry up. This is from the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Shaping the Future of Mental Health is the section I'm reading. Our leadership team guides NAMI's mission to impact across every level of the organization, from our board of directors to our senior executives to emerging NAMI next gen leaders. These dedicated individuals shape programs, advocacy, and initiatives that empower communities and improve lives nationwide. And you can join them and sign up and donate. And let's read a little bit more about the arc of King County. Our impact. The arc of King County serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities across the lifespan, from prenatal diagnosis through end-of-life care. We provide specialized services and activities in English and Spanish. That's nice. For other languages, we utilize interpreters. Our programs include information and family support, parent-to-parent support, connection and peer support, IEP parent partners for support with special education services, something called Silver Tsunami for aging families and caregivers, supported living for adults living in the community, healthy relationship support for people with IDD, ages 18 plus, housing stability services for families at risk of losing their housing, and wings for autism, an airport rehearsal for autistic youth and their families, as well as advocacy for people who want to build inclusive communities and promote and protect the rights of people with IDD. And that's from the website for the Arc of King County. Just add more details. I need a black marker. We're gonna start getting into those markers. Boop. Maybe I'll make this one a little bit bigger. And then we use the bone ivory white marker, which I really like. This helps with skin tones and just getting light values, as well as making like bone teeth happen. I don't like using just, you know, white. And the faster we draw and paint, the more artistic it will look, in my opinion. There we go. Cool. I'm so glad we can just kind of chat about disabilities and mental health issues. I've been doing that a lot. It's very important to discuss these things and to find help and resources for people who need them. And we don't all need the same thing, and there is no one size fits all fix for problems people face and challenges. And some of those challenges are brought on by the society in which we live and are very hard and systemic. So I'm doodling and then I'm wiping it to kind of make just like a cool looking gradient effect. Cool. I love that marker. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm trying to think what else I want to do. I want to make some little dots. Dot, 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 dot. We're using gouache if you're curious. That's what the color is. At least we're using ink, gouache, markers, Posca, and later on we'll use some of these alcohol markers. Sorry. Not a sponsor. No one sponsors me. I make weird art. If you have any ability to either just go ahead and go to the Arc of King County or NAMI.org. Both are great organizations that we're drawing attention to today. And the theme of today's stream is dismantling ableism. Whether that be false assumptions about people's ability to live within their community and meaningfully interact, or it's, more overt, like shunning and seclusion. The Arc of King County has a very impactful video about seclusion that young people with disabilities face in school. I would highly recommend watching it. I wanted to play on the channel, but I don't know if I'm allowed to, so it kind of be like a reactionary sort of thing, or a reaction, I should say, video. Just taking away some of that, and a tiny little brush, and I'm going to draw some little veins on my eyes because I did not sleep very well. One of my medications is for anxiety and insomnia, and the other one is antidepressants. I am on a medication journey that I am welcoming you to discuss with me. I always welcome people to discuss these sort of things with me. I'm growing as a person, and I don't want to stop growing, even as I get older. Pretty soon, actually, I just thought about this. We're going to have like a birthday stream. My birthday's coming up soon. I think I want to do a live stream. Yep, that looks like me. I think I'm going to refresh my water. We've been painting for about an hour. I like to take a break every hour or so as I'm doing this. As long as I'm not doing it like by myself. If I'm doing art by myself, I kind of don't give myself as many breaks. And then we're going to also break out the stamps soon and more markers, of course. I think I want to put like, I want to use this coffee cup as like a stamp and also illustrate it. I think I want to, before I go on break, I think I want to draw like a freeform sort of flower. I love drawing flowers. To symbolize growth, resilience. It also gives a vertical element to this horizontally oriented painting, which is, you know, kind of cool. Just different angles and stuff. All right. I will be back. I'm going to take a quick break, grab some water. I think I want to have like words like positivity going in this year, and these will be saying like negative things. So I'll have like grow around here, and maybe we'll do some little tattoos and stuff. I like to add little tattoos, even though I don't have any. I think I want to do, I know I said I'm going to go on break, but I want to do one more little thing. I like to add little arm hairs, or pit hair, I should say. There we go. I'm also going to look up a list of notable artists. I'm not going to read off one of these people because I don't like his work. Too close. Oh, no way. I'm not thinking of Chuck Close. I'm thinking of the other guy, Damien Hirst. I don't like Damien Hirst or his art. All right. Now that we've made a freaky little painting, I'm going to go on break. I say that, but I'm going to just like put some dirty spots on my socks. I like doing these little self-portraits. I feel like there's a lot you can express just by expressing your own personal story. If you're watching the VOD and you're new to the channel, then you might see a lot of daily art challenges kind of featuring the same general cartoon. That's actually a abstract self-portrait that I make almost every day, or at least when I'm not recording, or at least when I am recording. I've gotten a little ahead of schedule on my work, and I intend to record a lot of content. So we're going to have some long-form content coming up where I cycle through all of the new ones I've been doing. They're really big too. Like they're much bigger than this like little piece of paper. I should probably say I'm going on break. I would say 5 minute break. BRB. Thank you for the compliments on the artwork. Just getting back from my break. Going to drink a little bit of water and stretch. Stretch those hands. Oh, stick around. We're going to be adding more. I think I'll use marker here. Actually, I gotta dry that watercolor really quick. Or not watercolor, sorry, gouache. I'm going to be very selective about where I use color and where I don't. Because that's what being an artist is selection, choosing little bits of reality to embellish or present. I think I'll put a yellow dot in the center and then leave the flower just the way it is. And that's something else I believe in really strongly, is loving people just the way they are. Not for what they're expected to be. So move this back just a little bit. Maybe I'll make some little petal details. Very loose mark making. And then I had an idea where I wanted to add, I like to add like little smoky details. So I think I'm going to have that coming out of the mouth because, you know, the mouths are going to represent toxicity. Negative things we either tell ourselves or we tell each other. And it just goes right over our head. All right, and this is usually when I add little patterns to my smoke, like an ashy sort of pattern. Dot, dot, dot. starting to come together. Oops, sorry. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Just happily humming along to the music. I'm going to get a. I might need to re-ink the stamp pad, so I'm going to take care of what. Just in case. Let's see. I never refreshed my water dry. There we go. Okay. I just re-inked this. I hope it still has fresh ink. Okay, we've got our little stamp pad. Nope. That's okay. Nope, they all sunk down to the other side. All right, so I want to put positive words on one side and then negative ableist language on the other. Just going to say joy. I like to kind of just stir the pot with everything. Realism, expressionism, abstraction. A little bit of this, a little bit of everything I've learned. So I am going to have to re-ink this really quick. What am I doing? I'm going to get my hands all dirty. I should use my tools. Use your tools. Just take a little bit of ink. Bloop, 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 bloop. Squirt the rest of that back in the ball. All right. Put this away before I spill it yet again. Let's see. So we got joy. Should put goals on there too. I'll have them like looking up at goals. Again, the theme of today is dismantling ableism. A video I watched by one of the organizations linked in the chat recently they posted goes into detail about isolation that children in schools with disabilities face. Named the letter S. There we go. Goals. I'm going to put grow over the flower. People with disabilities are very much capable of personal growth. It's always good to live in a vibrant community full of all sorts of people, in my opinion. GROW. I put supports. Over on the pill bottle. Can't believe it's almost my birthday again. I hope some of you watching this VOD or just tuning in for the first time will join me on my birthday. I'll try to be online. Sometimes my birthday is a little bit sad for me, but I'll try to be a happy fellow like today. Let's see. Support. Support individuals, I think I wanted to say. For me. Sorry about that. Just clearing my throat. I'm going to advocate somewhere in here. Like advocate for yourself. Oh, that coming out of my mouth. Then there's a V. Kind of doing this in reverse order, so I'm trying not to get it wrong. Like I almost just did. Advocate. If you're just tuning in, maybe you're just watching the VOD at this particular point, we are doing an awareness raiser for 2 organizations, one local and one national in America. We are doing those for the National Alliance on Mental Illness and for the Arc of King County. The Arc of King County especially supports people with disabilities, and NAMI supports people living with mental illness. Educate. Let's see, where did I put that letter E? I always put stuff down. Oh, it's just derp. Educate. I think I'll have a personal pizza for dinner. I don't know if you heard my stomach grumble on the tape. I just made a little roar. Little hungry tummy. People with disabilities also deserve housing. I wonder how I'll incorporate that. I'm just referring to the Bill of Rights for people with disabilities and mental health issues. We all actually deserve housing, period. It's looking pretty sweet. I want to do like self-worth because I'm building my own self-worth. Let's see. T and H. I'm just reading, making sure. Okay. Sure I have all the right letters. And then my stamp pad needs a few more drops of ink. Hey everyone, if you're just tuning in, we're doing an awareness raiser for two different organizations, the National Alliance on Mental Health and the Arc of King County. And today's theme for our art piece is dismantling ableism. I probably didn't need to get so much. All right. And let's do some words on them, what the mouths with all the smoke in them are saying. Using stamps, which surprisingly, in recent months, I've just started using on a lot of my art pieces. I also did like a 12-piece collection of zines using stamps and ink, like ink pens. And these mouths are going to be spouting like stuff like this one says, you can't. I'll just go with the full word, you. And just like, we'll cross those out to show that those are not true. You can't. And then I want one to say, stay home. Stay. Johnny. Stay home. And then one should say, the same. Not possible. Where is my... Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was looking for. I think it was just another layer. Not possible. You can't stay home. Can't. Let's see. What other toxic things can they be saying? Brave. Be more. Be better. Get better. Better sooner. Trying to find the letter R. Trying to line up my letters. That is a 0, not an O. It's actually very ableist to tell someone with, a mental health concern or with a disability to, why haven't you gotten better when everyone else has gotten better? Everyone's journey to recovery and wellness and holisticness is different, and you can't say who's trying and who's not trying, really, or who's struggling and who's not struggling. Oh yeah, better, faster, yeah. And even if someone has like the same challenge, it doesn't mean they're both going to recover at the same rate, because they're having completely different lives and different experiences. And we hurt people's feelings by assuming everyone gets better in the same rate. I think more I would say actually get better now. Everyone needs different supports at different times. The best thing we can really do as a community is to diversify those supports, to make people feel truly individually supported. And that takes a lot of work. I don't know the answer personally to what that looks like, other than meeting people where they are, not where you expect them to be. Okay, I'm done stamping, I think. Now comes the process of putting all these back in the box, which I'm just going to kind of lazily jumble in there. Oh, that's another one. They call you lazy, which is wrong. I don't think people are lazy. I think they kind of shut down sometimes, but I don't think people in general are lazy. I think they shut down for very valid reasons, but that's just my own take. Also, in these like mixed media pieces, at least, I like to incorporate the elements in nature somehow. So you'll see like a lot of flowers and fire and smoke and wind and stuff like that. Rain, which I'm going to do some doodles of rain pretty soon. Band-aids are just like a little thing that I put in my artwork to kind of just show healing. Represent healing. Where did I put that blue marker? Where did it go? I'm not worried about staying inside the lines. We're just blurring boundaries in our artwork, at least. I think I want to share this with my therapist. It's very positive. I think it's like almost done. So, wow, we worked like almost 2 hours on this art piece. I'm going to use some alcohol markers to kind of just bring out some of the reds and flesh tones in my face. Maybe I should put some like little brown dots in my hair. I love making patterns. Oh, this one looks like it's dry. Fun. Advocate, educate, grow. I love joy. And I love working on my goals. And I should love myself. Okay, I think that's it. I'm Colors Doodle. We made this art piece today. Thank you so much if you joined in. Please give support in any way possible to the Arc of King County. They will be in the description of this video, and also to the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Bye. Bye-bye.